Now, last week, in fact, exactly a week ago today, 3 teacher unions, the Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT, the National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT, and the Coalition of Concerned Teachers, Ghana, declared a strike. They were protesting the appointment of Dr. Eric Nkansa as Director General of the Ghana Education Service, among other issues. And this was their justification.
We have been compelled, under the current circumstances, to publicly communicate to Ghanaians on our intention to go on strike, having reached the November 4th deadline we gave the government. Consequently, we have decided to embark on strike from today, Friday, 4th November 2022.
So their argument is that Dr. Nkansa is a banker and not a professional teacher, and so therefore does not have the competence to be their boss. To be fair, what was advertised in the dailies when the position was publicized indicated the qualifications required of the applicant. And to be fair, it included some higher qualification in education. But the hiring authority is not necessarily bound by those requirements. The president reserves the right to hire and fire whom he chooses. Of course, the argument can be made that a person more experienced in education matters ought to have been appointed. But well, it remains an argument for now. But back to the matter at hand. The teachers declared they would not work until their demands were heeded. So for 1 week, teachers in public schools denied children the much-needed education.
We want them to come to school so that we learn hard.
Okay, what about you?
And me too.
What do you want?
I want them to come because I like to read.
So for 1 week, pupils of public schools were found loitering on their school campuses. Some worried they couldn't study, whilst others were nonchalant. If their parents could afford to send them to private schools, they would sacrifice to pay for higher tuition. But alas, not everybody's spending power is equal. So although the strike was to send a signal to the government, it ended up punishing children whose parents cannot afford to give them quality education. When teachers went on strike to protest the cost of living allowance COLA, many people rallied behind them because the entire country believed teachers deserve better pay. Here at Joy News, we interviewed pupils who were negatively impacted by the COLA, yet supported their teachers and called on the government to resolve the impasse. But this Dr. Eric Nkansa strike was unnecessary. It was pointless and it was highly unfortunate, and some say they only use the children as a bargaining chip.
If you look at what is happening, it has nothing to do with the children, and children should not be the basis for which we want to place on the table for discussion if the appointing authorities are not willing to go by their decisions.
So to parents, essentially, what it is that your daughter or son and thousands of children across the country missed out on education because their teachers don't like their new boss. That's the main point. I've been trying so hard to understand this, and it's completely perplexing. I mean, to put it mildly, this strike is outrageous, defying all logic. To be clear, I'm not saying teachers can't oppose the appointment of the Ghana Education Service boss. What I'm saying is alternative methods could have been used. If dialogue with this government fails, find other ways to protest, like going to court. But punishing children over this disagreement is extremely unjust. There's absolutely no way private employees will go on strike because they're not happy with the appointment of their new boss. Hours before this editorial, the teacher unions decided to suspend their strike and continue with the dialogue with government. This editorial is not to justify the appointment of Dr. Eric Nkansa, not by a stretch. We are simply stating that administrative decisions should not affect our future leaders. Don't use children as emotional bargaining chips.